Reborn. How are you? So I've had quite a week, you could say. So I am in Tulum, Mexico, doing various plant medicine healing, and it's the medicine, if you remember, that I did in December at a different sanctuary called Bufo Alvarius Sanctuary, which I do not recommend because they neglected me. However, right now I am at Tulum Nueve with Mario, who is a twin flame, is a divine masculine who was married to his twin flame for over 30 years, and his energy is very pure and loving. So I do recommend Tulum Nueve, and if you want to do any plant medicine healing, you can contact me, and then I can give you the information about the retreat. So the first medicine I did, which I've done before, which is not my favorite medicine, is called Cambo. Okay, so Cambo is a frog poison. So in plant medicine, often you use a poison or a toxin to remove the poison or the toxin from your body, right? So you use a toxin, which is from the plant medicine or from an animal, to remove toxins from your own body or soul, whatever you want to call it. It purges, right? Toxin with toxin. Now, the first one that I did, so they did like 5. I'll share pictures. I've got all the videos, but on my back, it's really painful. They burn like holes. So I have like scars from the last time. So I did it 3 days, last time, and again 3 days. And they burn scars in your back, which hurts obviously. And then they put the toad poison in. And as soon as you take it, you start feeling hot, delirious, a little crazy. You want it out, you want it to stop. Now that's why it's very important if you're doing plant medicine to actually have a spiritual practice beforehand. It's not for the weak. And as a divine feminine or a DM, you are very strong. However, I do recommend that you do a lot of inner work to do with self-love and meditation and staying balanced before you do any plant medicine, because during the trip, you have to keep your mind in track, okay? As much as you can. In some of the medicines, you go outside the mind, which I'll talk about today. Today is going to be probably one of the most important lives I have done so far. So do watch from the start, and then I will explain. We're going to have a lot of twin flame philosophy and downloads and information from source. So there's going to be a lot of stuff here, okay? So the first one I did, after they put the medicine, it lasts 20 minutes, about 15 to 18 minutes, right? You start feeling crazy and delirious, and then you purge, you vomit. And when you vomit, it tastes like the poison. It's disgusting. Your mouth feels crap. And you just keep vomiting. I forgot to mention, before you start, you have to drink a whole jug of water. But then you just keep on vomiting until it's all out, and you just feel exhausted. And then it takes about an hour for you to start to recover. And then the burns in the back, they put this tree bark oil on there, and you feel, it's called dragon's blood, and then you feel much better. And then they just heal and fall off. But you do the same process for 3 days, and it's quite grueling. But it removes toxins not only from your physical body, like candida, and like any other poisons, but it also removes from your emotional body any toxins, and your spiritual body, your soul, essentially. So the first one I did, forgiveness came up. I didn't purge, I didn't vomit, but a forgiveness to do with family members. And the second time I do it, I was it was stronger the second time, because they do an extra hole and an extra poison in your back, right? And I call my divine masculine often to come and help me and ground me and support me during the medicine, because I'm very connected telepathically in the astral. So he came over and held me from behind, and he said, you don't have to do this anymore. I have leveled up to you now. That's what he said. And then I purged. And then the last time I did it, and I thought I had healed all this, but body and worthiness issues came up. And there was a lot of purging. It wiped me out for a couple of hours. So that was Cambo, which you do to detoxify before. Someone wrote liver, but I'll check the comments. I haven't got much time, by the way, because in half an hour's time or so, I can't see the time, I'm being picked up for dinner by my friends because it's my farewell. I return back to England, get the flight tomorrow, come back on Tuesday. So, okay, ibogaine. Now, you say iboga or ibogaine to a lot of people who do plant medicine, and they're like, no. It's a tough one. It's one of the toughest ones, okay? And iboga is the most tough one because it has 17 plus alkaloids, which heal so many different things at once. But ibogaine is the one alkaloid. And if you remember from last time when I did it, I was very scared because the sanctuary I went to before Avaria Sanctuary didn't give me the proportionally medical support that I required, and I thought I could die. And I wiped out the electricity, and I was really scared. But initially, it was a lucid dream, very light, all the good things I'd gone through, but that since this life in childhood. And then it went through all the bad things that have happened or that I've done. I had to forgive and let go. And then finally, after I did all the forgiving and letting go, I had cleared my karma. And then I was basically transported into an Olympic stadium, and I was like being cheered on by loads of people. I felt amazing. So once that was done, then I saw, if you remember from last time, and the reason why I'm going over this, because some of you are new followers and you might not have watched the videos from December, because everything that you're going to learn today is going to be a very crash course and speed, but leveled up and upgraded version of all the content I've done so far. So if some of it's very philosophical, very theoretical, very high level, which it will be, then I suggest you watch the videos from before in order to understand the concepts more in detail. This just adds to the concepts I've already gone in. I've made lives about most of these concepts in detail, specifically one by one anyway. So basically in Cambo, then what happened was I got transported to a place where my twin flame was crucifying himself, if you remember from December. He crucified himself for all the things he did against me, which he did a lot. If you remember, my twin was very toxic. And then he also crucified himself for humanity's sins and also for his ancestral karma. And I explained this because this time round is a continuation of the story, and I'll explain it in more detail. And also today, it's still Sunday where I am in Tula, Mexico. It's Easter. Easter is when Jesus ascended. He was resurrected. You know, he came back and he went after he was crucified. So it relates back to that because I'm doing the medicine literally a year later. So after he crucified himself, do you remember I held him in my hands and I was like, I accept him, warts and all, because I was finding it really hard to forgive my twin. I had said last year from October till December, I started dating other people, and I said, I don't want to be in union, and I will actually help you to get in union, but I'm off the journey. Do you remember? So we all have those moments. I know it's very difficult. Some of you say, how did you forgive? Because I wanted to kill mine. Mine was doing pornography, mine was doing nudity, mine was doing all sorts of crazy shit. Drugs, sex, rock and roll. We haven't been in contact for 2.5 years, you know? So it's been a long separation, but I've still been championing forwards because I understand things from many different perspectives. And more so now, in the sense that he had to purge. So if you do plant medicine, you realize the poisons within you have to come out. You have to empty your cup, okay? And the analogy I've always said is, say you've got a cup, and I'm going to show you a cup now, full of all the toxicity. As soon as you meet your twin, the Kundalini is awakened, all of that has to come out until it's finished. And then once it's finished, it's done. It's not the more you manifest, the more it happens. It's you manifest until it's all done. So they have to get rid of all their toxicity, and they do it physically, whereas we do it more emotionally, okay? So once he crucified himself, I accepted him. We got transported to a point in the universe called 0 point. It's like a metal line or ruler, you could call it. And it had positive karma, negative karma, and then the middle was 0 point. I didn't know what it meant. So negative karma is not good. We know that. You do negative, you get negative next life, right? Positive karma, also not good. You do positive, you have to owe the person positive in next life, or they have to owe you, okay? And I'm mentioning karma because we're going to go more detail into karma. It'd be amazing, okay? And then the 0 point is where you get to when you've cleared your karma and you're with your twin and there's no karma because you're in conscious relationship. And we were spinning around for 6 hours, and then I saw the angelic hands above the clouds doing this, telling us that they are directing us, right? And I explained this because in this ibogaine trip, they explained more so about free will, divine will, and all the other things, and the beings that are the architects and whatever creating the universe. Okay, it's very interesting. I'm just giving you a quick roundup from ibogaine, December 2024. So after that, I heard God's voice, and he showed me all the events in my life and showed that everything is divine timing, divine timing, divine timing, and nothing moves without God's permission or whatever. And then I did a prayer of gratitude, and when I said the words thank you, the medicine stopped. And they said that we knew exactly the whole journey. We had co-created it with your higher self. We knew what was happening. Like, we knew you were going to say the words thank you and the medicine would stop. It was mind-blowing. It made me realize that everything is divinely orchestrated, completely to the dot. So that was the ibogaine treatment. And then I'll tell you my bufo treatment now as well. so that you know it when I talk about the Bufo treatment this time round, which was, again, another level up, okay? So the Bufo is a toad poison, and you smoke it, and it kills your ego. And it's very important for you as twin flames to be able to do that so that you can get out of fear and control and get into union, right? So the first time when I did it in December, I smoked it, but I thought I made a mistake because I didn't smoke all of it or something. And as I went back, I kept thinking, mistake, mistake. And then basically, I felt like I set the whole universe on fire. Everything was exploding, imploding, exploding. The demons were released, and I burnt alive to ashes. Like I completely died. My ego died, okay? And I'm explaining that because you need to know for when I explain today's one. That happened on the beach, okay? And anyway, so once I died, my twin flame came and took me up to the cosmos, and we had orgasmic sex for like 15 minutes. And it was just like total kundalini orgasm or whatever, but you're no longer anything. You're everything and anything all together. There's no separation. It's not peaceful. It's kind of chaotic, okay? And the reason why I explained this is because today's what happened was more intense and leveled up from that, and more downloads came down. But basically, in those plant medicine journeys, my twin was always with me, supporting me. But this time round, I had to do it alone. So he showed up a little bit, but we'll talk about it. Okay, so the ibogaine was 14 hours. It's a long trip, yeah, from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. My intention for the medicine was for it to be gentle, loving, and healing, and remove any residual sexual distortions. And also, I wanted to see past lives. I wanted to go back to Mintaka and other lives and see what the journey had been for us twin flames. It didn't go back for me, but it went back for all of souls in the universe and showed me so much, which I'll explain. Okay, so initially I was given 750 grams of the medicine, which is like usually the normal dose. Didn't work. Then I was given another 250 grams to give me the maximum dosage. It didn't work. So then they gave me 500 more grams, which is kind of like a lot. But because 4 hours had surpassed, so they gave me, after 1 hour, they gave me a little bit more. And then after 4 hours, because the medicine drops a third and you can take more. And they had to like go on to the facility and phone the doctors and all sorts of stuff. So it was a process, okay? And I was thinking, is it because I had built immunity because it's only been 4 months since I did my last ibogaine and I should have waited longer? Or was it due to fear? Was it that I take it too soon, or was I resistant? And I was very scared because, last time when I had 1.2 in the other place in December, that was already above the limit. And this was 1.5. So it was a lot, okay? So they had to constantly monitor me. So you have like a doctor, the paramedic or whatever, and they have the machines on you. And I posted a video about that before. It's kind of uncomfortable because you got all the things inside of you, and the whole process takes forever because they have to do blood tests, they have to do this, they have to do that. But it's an amazing medicine, beautiful. And the first time round, I told you it was like a cinematic, animated story of your life. It was absolutely stunning. Anyway, so they had to monitor me constantly to make sure that my breathing didn't stop and my heart didn't stop, because at one point I thought my heart wasn't working because the medicine is so strong and I took such a big dose, which is normally not the case, okay? So I was shit scared. And this time round, I didn't have any visuals, if that. And the medicine did explain to me why. They said to me, first of all, they said to me, I don't need any more plant medicine because my twin has leveled up. So that has been confirmed to me by my psychic, by the Cambo, and by ibogaine now as well, okay? And they said, I don't need to keep striving forwards out of fear and control. Just be in the now. You are enough and already have done enough. So chill. And that I have got nothing to prove to no one. And they basically said that they kept showing me that have no expectations and no attachment, because I said they basically showed me no visuals, right? Not really any visuals, because they were saying to me, we don't want you to have any expectations or any attachments. Now, I have done a post about detaching from your twin flame, and I don't believe in that, and I'll still confirm that. So basically, there's two ways to look at it. If you are detaching from your twin flame, because I've had some snotty people message me saying, oh, so you are not like the rest of us true twin flames of the third wave who are all detached right now. All of us divine feminines of the third wave, the true twin flames, meaning I'm not a true twin flame apparently, but anyway, whatever, are basically all detached. So if you are still attached, then that means that you're not true twin flame. And I'm like, okay, but my answer was like, basically, I was detached in autumn last year, and that was because I was numbing out. And that was because I was trying to avoid. I was trying to push away. So detachment can be when you're like saying, I don't want a twin, I don't want him, I'm pushing him away, that's not my twin, blah, blah, blah. That's like numbing out, spiritual bypassing, that's saying that that's not yours, right? But what I talk about is you can say, that is my twin, and I just let it go. I accept that they are my twin, and I accept that they are there. I'm not detaching from it. I've integrated and accepted it within myself. I've got the inner union. Like I accept that person is me, that soul is mine, but I'm letting it be. I'm allowing it to be whatever it's got to be and happen when it's got to be happening. So that level of detachment, if you want to call it that way, that's fine. You know, like you've accepted fully that this is my twin. I feel great, wonderful, and it will happen when it's going to happen, and I surrender. That's a good detachment. But if your detachment is, oh, I'm sick of him, I don't like him, I don't want him, he makes me feel repulsed, or I don't really like care about him, that's from a very negative place, that's from a pushing away place, and that's from a place of unhealed ego. Anyway, so yes, I am a true twin flame. Right, so basically they kept saying to me, have no expectations or any attachments, yeah? We will show you what we want, not what you want. Yeah, what you need, not what you want. We'll give you what you need. And what you need right now is no cinematic visuals. This will be a practical lesson, 14-hour practical lesson of staying in 0 point or neutrality. Okay? Okay, I'll go tick that because I wanted to go through that first. So the visuals, what visuals did I have? I had a few visuals. The first visual was me and my twin flame getting married. Very beautiful. Loved it. Then I had another visual. And so let me tell you, a few months ago I had a dream, okay? And my twin flame showed up in the dream and he was wearing a wedding ring. And I looked at the wedding ring and I was like, who are you committed to? And he said, to you and Sage. And I said, who the fuck is Sage? And he said, our daughter. And I was like, oh, and then my daughter showed up. So if you remember when the first time I got intimate with my twin, we both saw I saw our two children, our daughter and our son. And then he found out about it and he picked it from telepathically, and we've been talking about kids ever since the first day we met. And basically I had a dream a few months ago where he said that, you know, this is our daughter, and I'm like, okay. And I always wanted to call my daughter Anouk, not Sage, but she wants to be called Sage. So I had a visual in the medicine where my twin flame was there and a little girl was there, and she came up to me and I said, who are you? And she says, I am Sage. And I'm like, oh, she says, I'm your daughter and I'm ready to be born. I'm like, okay. So it looks like, I thought my children were going to come both at the same time, but it looks like Sage is coming first. Okay. So then I saw a visual of my twin flame crawled up in a ball, feeling damaged. And it showed me that he ran away because he felt damaged. He felt like dirty goods, or like he just felt not good enough. You know, he felt destroyed. He felt like not, because of all the trauma he's gone through, you know. And then I had a few questions about traumas, and this is very interesting, okay? Because I wanted to know, basically, with traumas, do we have to heal it to the root, from the root, right to the root, and pluck it out? Or will they always be with you? Will they always remain there, okay? And they showed me this, okay? So they showed me a ring, very similar to my wedding ring, okay? They showed me this ring. And they said, this is your soul. This is what they showed me. And they said that basically, when your soul is pure and it has no attachment, no like debris, no dirt, the light is white, clear light, flows directly through, in and out, the light flows through. And basically your energy is pure and you're allowing everything to come to you. What happens is, they said there's no karma as such, right? And this collaborates with Abraham Hicks' teachings. God or source does not judge you and allows free will for you to like be able to do whatever you want, okay? In a sense, as long as you stick to your path, because everyone has contracts, which I'll talk about in a second. So basically, when you are born as a soul, you are pure, and the white light can pass through easily. But as you have lifetimes and lifetimes, you yourself as a soul may feel guilt, may feel bad if you hurt someone or if they hurt you. And then you choose to hold on to that guilt or pain as debris, which stays in your soul, which is the ring, and therefore causes your karma. God's source does not give you karma, but you hold on to that. You don't let it go. You could easily just let it go and be free. Free from all traumas, free from all pain, free from all illnesses, free from any defilements, free from any sort of... They said there was no karma, there was no ancestral baggage, and there was no... humanities stuff as well. It's just things that you decide to keep in the ring, which is your soul, and hold on to. You can let it go right now. And they kept saying that basically you can it's what Abraham Hicks talks about, defocus on the trauma and focus on the healed version. You can easily just switch it because you have that much power. So basically they showed me the white ring of light and the white light flowing through, and they say once you're pure energy flows through with ease. And it was showing my soul. So it wasn't showing me and my twin together, but it was showing our joint soul, I guess. And it was showing to us that you have now reached that stage where clear light just flows through. As long as you keep focusing on the healed version and not on the traumas. Don't focus on the traumas. You will allow the energy just to flow through. And it's a very pure, pristine place to be, okay? And so basically, energy just flows with ease. Defilements cause karmic residue on the ring, and they are passed over in lifetimes. God's source does not dish out karma. Souls feel the burden of guilt which they refuse to let go. You can let it go right now, as Abraham Hicks says. Defocus that manifestation and focus on the thing you want. So you can de-manifest or defocus your traumas by focusing on the healed version of yourself. I don't need to do more plant medicine because my twin has leveled up. I don't need to keep striving out of fear. And I talked about this, I've got nothing to prove to anyone. You are enough and you already have done enough. Some of the concepts I'm explaining are going to be quite high level. And I know there's some questions about how we let go, how we do this, how we do that. We have to probably go through them in other lives, or there is some of that I've talked about before. But a lot of this is having a lot of spiritual knowledge and a lot of spiritual work. And it's not just the theoretical and the philosophical. I'm telling you this and it's all philosophical, but when you do plant medicine, it's when you do it physically, you embody it and you experience it, and that's when you ground it on earth, and that's what twin flames are here to do. Bring it from the above and bring it to the ground. And so a lot of this has to be experienced. The Buddha said, do not believe me just because I say it. Do it for yourself and experience it to know it's true. Okay? So basically, this time round, I could use my arms and legs like the last time round as a vegetable, like a baby. And the medicine joked with me, okay? So last time I chose a cheaper place and they left me, right? They abandoned me whilst the electricity went off. I wasn't given any food or water for 2 days. And basically they said, but we didn't abandon you. God's source, the universe did not abandon you. We were there for you. And they said, this time you had everything, because I'm in a very good facility. They took care of me so much, right? And I recommend this place, Tulum Nueve, with Mario, who's a twin flame DM. He's the facilitator. And they said, this time you had everything, but you didn't need us. You didn't need it. I didn't need all the support that I had because the medicine didn't make me have problems walking. So it's kind of like a bit of a joke. And throughout the medicine, I could see all my guardian angels and my guides, just being around me, which was really beautiful. This is an important thing to listen to, so please listen up. Intensity is a fear response. Relax. Calm and gentle with the divine masculine. Be serene, peaceful. They are innocent and pure and vulnerable. So, a lot of my content is very intense, actually, because it's and it's philosophical and the vision and imagery. I might start to soften up a little bit more because the DMs cannot handle too much intensity. It has to be they're very vulnerable, like little babies, okay? So keep it pure, keep it gentle, keep it light. They kept saying calm and gentle with the DM, calm and gentle. Then they showed me an image of a powerful man. And this was the DM, they said. The DM creates an image of themselves as powerful because no one was there to protect them. Okay? Then I asked about the reason for child sexual abuse, because me and my twin flame are healing sexual distortions. And I'll explain why we have to embody that in a second. Why, some of us take on humanity's issues. When I talk about the Bufo experience, it all makes sense. It's mind-blowing. So basically, me and my twin are healing sexual distortions in sexuality, pedophilia, sex abuse, porn, all that kind of stuff. So the reason for child sexual abuse is this. Basically, they were showing me first that the world is a fucked up place. It is full of traumas. Everyone has so many traumas that they've held on to lifetime after lifetime because they don't know. They don't know that they can let it go, and they don't have to hold on to the guilt and the shame. They can ask for forgiveness. You let go by asking for forgiveness and by forgiving the other and just letting it go, giving it away to God, letting it go, tying it up in boxes and letting it go. So what happens is that these people, and this is, I'm going to tell you about what Twin Flames' purpose, true purpose is as well, is to, and I'll explain it in the Bufo one more so, but we need to help end the suffering on earth, to help these people to understand that they can let go of these traumas. A lot of people are afraid of surrendering and let go, allowing their ego to die. And so I will be doing a retreat in Bali in autumn, fall this year with one or two of my facilitator friends from Tulum. Will be coming out there. We'll do some plant medicine, we'll do some various healings, yoga, meditation, and all sorts of other things, exciting things. So we'll talk about that because I'm going to eventually open, hopefully, my own retreat. Okay, anyway, so the reason for child sexual abuse is this: the perpetrator, the person who does the thing, does the abuse, they feel like their innocence was taken, so they feel like they're going to take the innocence of the child. The perpetrator is full of traumas and they seek revenge by violating the innocent child. They think they can absorb the child's innocence by taking it away from them. And it's an ego response, for they are saying, why does the child deserve innocence when my innocence was taken away from me? So a child is born free from sin, right? A child is born innocent. But as you get acclimatized by your family, by society, you take on those traumas. And so people, as they get older, they want to be innocent, and they don't realize they can be innocent by going within and loving themselves. Those who become child sex offenders basically are trying to, this is what the medicine said, take it or whatever, leave it, that they are trying to take the innocence of the child because they think they're going to get innocent from that. Okay. Then I was shown some African imagery because the medicine is from an African plant. And then there's some like quotes that came to me, okay? So do you know the story of Isis and Osiris? So Isis and Osiris' story are the gods and goddess of Egypt, and Osiris was broken into like millions of pieces, thousands of pieces, and scattered all across Egypt. And Isis went around the whole of Egypt gathering his pieces and parts together to make him whole again. So with your DFs, this is what it said: I loved every part of you to bring you back to life. So you love every part of your DM to bring them back to life because they're very damaged, and their damage is actually your damage. And I'll explain more later in the Bufo one about why they're taking on all the damage. It's interesting. And then they said to me, you will be known in your circles, your work, you will be known as the one who walked the path. And they said, you don't need to keep doing things, you're already there. Only do what you enjoy. So you don't need to keep striving to do more and more. And yeah, and then the hostess, I'm staying with a lot of twin flames here, the people who own this best twin flames, and they said that you're very special and your manifestations will happen faster now, and your heart's content desires will come true too. And then also I had an idea for my next series. It's probably going to be called Union, when I'm going to be doing traveling with my twin flame, because I feel like my union is quite close. And then one or two other things, which is very interesting also. So soulmates. When soulmates meet, only one or two of your traumas are triggered. That's why it's easier. But with twin flames, when you meet, all of your traumas are triggered and activated. Not just one or two, but thousands of them from everywhere. And that's why it's so painful. It also said sexual distortions are trauma response, and they can be, and it's disempowering if you're like giving away your sexuality willy-nilly, and people treat you the way back in the same disrespect, So now I'm going to continue on with the Bufo experience, which builds upon everything that I've talked about in more depth. And it's interesting for twin flames, and it might turn the philosophy upside down. Well, I don't think it will, but okay. So we went to the beach. I woke up this morning and my thought was, ascension is not an easy feat. You got to do hard work and a lot of guts. So let's do this, okay? And I wanted to do it because I want to kill my ego, right? So I can, because I know my twin flame is very scared, and that's a reflection of my ego, which is scared. So I just wanted to like, Bufo basically takes you out of ego straight away and takes you into the space of source or all, right? And you're no longer a singular being, you're just everything and anything. And it's very, can be scary, and especially when you come back, you kind of like, is this the real world? Like, am I back to the reality? It can be quite tripping. So you need to be very, very mindful of the facilitators you use and your mental health, and also that you've done a lot of inner work. Okay, so the first trial that I did, I couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to die. And basically, I came back around, and the medicine didn't work on me, which is quite unusual. But basically, the reason why that happened was I was breathing normally, but mentally I thought I was being suffocated. And if you remember the first time round, I burnt completely in the Bufo experience, and my ego and my head just all burnt, and I died. And I thought every time you do Bufo, it has to kill your ego one way or the other. And if you remember, during ayahuasca, one of my friends actually died in Bolivia, and she couldn't breathe. Okay, so I thought I was going to die. And I couldn't breathe, and I thought it was, and then the facilitator kept saying, you're safe, you're breathing, it's just in your mind. And I thought, okay, but I don't want to mentally feel like I'm suffocating and die. So the medicine didn't work, okay, because if it's very intelligent, he figured out that this is not going to happen this way. So then he said, do you want to take another try? And I was like, do I fucking have to? Like, come on, like, haven't I been through enough? So I was like, okay, let's do it. Because I thought about my daughter, Sage, and I thought about my twin flame, and I thought, you know what, I want this more than anything, let's do it. So let go, and I breathed. And you know, last time obviously all the universe was exploding and the traumas, and the twin flame was with me. But this time when I breathed, I went straight away to source. I didn't go to the ego death part. I went straight away there. But I was alone, surrounded by these energies, and I was all part of this. I call it the cosmic soup. All that is, okay? And it's chaos. It's not peaceful. It's crazy. There's no conscious creation happening there. It's just like, and the way I liken it is, that's where the Big Bang is, or that's where source is, and everything is just like creating without even thinking, unconsciously, right? And not thinking about the consequences. That if you create this, you'll get that. Yin and yang. You create a human, you'll get the ego. Like, there's no like real thinking about that. So there's a lot of like unconscious creation happening all over the place. Not one being, it's never ending. No start, no end. It's like orgasmic. You're drowning, you're falling constantly in yourself. It's like really exhilarating but draining, because we're not used to that energy. We're not used to it because we're in the 3D. It's different. But I guess when you're in that sort of source place for a very long time, you basically get used to it, and then eventually bored of it, and then you want to create. So everything's just collapsing, coming in. There's no ego. There's no oneness, like you. There's no singularity. It's just all. So you just don't know what you are, what you're not. Like, it's crazy. Kind of scary. And it's chaotic. It's neither here or there. You're lost in nothingness, essentially. But you do return 20 minutes later, and then you're trying to figure out whether it's a real world or not. And you're trying to ground down to reality. And I'll explain more about the chaos in a moment, about why twin flames are here to fix the chaos that was unconsciously created. Now we're consciously fixing it. Okay, it's a lot of distortions everywhere. So I started to understand the concept, because I have people messaging me all the while, Manny, I'm my own twin flame, or everything is my twin flame, the plant is my twin flame. I understood that concept slightly when I was in All That Is. I understood that we are everything and everything is us. But the twin flame is a tool. It's a tool that's created in this incarnation to help you transcend your ego. Because a lot of people are afraid of dying, afraid of letting their ego die. Because then they don't know what's going to happen. You're all that is. And a lot of souls, when they die, they get stuck in the in-between place, the astral world or the purgatory realm, and therefore they are haunting you, or they're ghosts, right? And people help them to get away from that place. They could be stuck in there for lifetimes and don't know what's going on. But anyway, I understood the concept of people saying that you are your own twin flame, or everyone is your twin flame, meaning in a sense that we are all and everything at once, and that's a source perspective of you. Yes, but the other perspective I understand as well that you only have one twin flame, who is a tool for your ascension to help you transcend your ego, just like Bufo does. Okay? And I'll explain more. So remember, I've shown this imagery before, the triangle. Okay? So my friends are nearly here, so I'm going to try to zip through the last 2 pages. Okay. So the triangle. So you have source, which is all that is, which is the oversoul, where I was with Bufo, so the triangle. So you're all at the top, over there. And basically, after source, which is at the top, twin flames come. The second step down from that is twin flames, okay? And from twin flames, underneath that is your soul family. So that's why twin flames have to heal their soul family, because we are here to heal the distortions that the soul family have. All of them have traumas. We have to embody those traumas in order to be able to help them understand how to heal them. So we take on, as volunteers, sexual abuse, child abuse, I don't know, whatever you go through, because you basically have to experience it to show them, children of the soul family, this is how you do it. Okay, so basically the chaos of source was like a mad person creating without consequence. Each action had an opposite reaction though, the karma, ego, and etc. Thus, in order to clear up the distortions, twin flames were created to clear this mess up. They had to embody the collective traumas to embody how to heal them. Okay? The souls trapped in the astral realm after death, that happens because they have not learned to trust and surrender and return to all that is. Because when I took Bufo the first time, this time round, you remember it didn't work on me because I was too scared to let go of dying. So when a lot of souls die, they just don't want to let go. So they get stuck in the astral realm. Okay, let's talk about free will and divine will. So free will is there in the sense of conscious or unconscious creation. However, divine will is there too. So the architects or the angels, like, Ibo Gain, they were helping us and guiding us. Basically, everything is predetermined before you have your incarnation. And I've talked about when I've seen twin flames come 2 by 2 on Earth, you sign a contract. And on there, you talk about the path that you will take. Now, 10% is divine will. I've talked about this before. So like I mentioned, I'm going to talk about a lot of high-level philosophical stuff, which I've talked about in small videos before or in lives. So if you're new to the channel, please go back to the beginning. All right. So basically, 10% is divine will. So 10% of your life is going to happen no matter what you do. So whether union's going to happen, whether you're going to go to college, whatever's going to happen, there's certain markers in your life that will happen no matter what you do, and you can't change it. But there's other markers that basically in between those markers, the path you take can oscillate or change, but it will always take you back. The angels, the architects, whatever, of the universe will always take you back on your path. That's why when your divine masculine tries to run away, they're always brought back. My divine masculine tried to do all his nudity and sexual pornography and whatever to make money and do his underwear fetish things, whatever he was doing, right? It didn't work out. Why? Because it's not his path. So you don't have free will. You have free will for the 90% of in between, but 10% of the goalposts are going to happen no matter what, which is your life purpose, which is your journey. That will happen no matter what. Okay, so as soon as you're in alignment with your purpose, you figure that out and connect it, you as a twin flame especially will just go forwards and forwards and forwards, and you'll keep getting more and more success. And if your DM does opposite to that, they get blasted until they come back into the line with you. All right. So, if your DM wavers, they will rudely be put back on the path. When you're in alignment, your path, you will excel. And that's basically, we as the DF, spiritually, we bring that energy, and the DM's purpose is to anchor it into the 3D, okay? There's no point being in woo-woo land. We have to show the 3D people, our soul family, how to heal and let go of things, okay? The twin flame purpose is to elevate and show the path to their soul family. So when Abraham Hicks talks about you can do or have anything you want, that's true, as long as you stay on your path. You might have to watch this video a few times because there's a lot of high-level stuff in here, okay? Bufo clears all the traumas programming from the body. The soul is purified. Like when Ibogaine showed me the ring, the pure light ring, and the light flowing in and out. If you joined just now, you're going to miss a lot of it. You have to go back to the start. And basically, when you're in that purified light place, you can have everything you want, for sure. But you have to stay on your path. Concepts and theories are anchored in the body with plant medicine. They're integrated. A lot of the time we are in the woo-woo, in the physical, but we have to get into in the mental, but we have to get into the physical. And the reason why a lot of divine feminines do plant medicine is because with the DM, with the twin flame journey, you are dealing with something non-human. Okay, so doing like basic things, not all meditation is basic, but certain basic things like yoga or meditation, a little bit of it is not going to take you often to the full level of embodiment to understand what is going on with the journey, to let go of your ego and control, completely surrender. So plant medicine does that for you faster. I mean, breath work, when you do it with a facilitator, can get you similar results, but plant medicine is a faster tool, faster route. So if you are interested in it, you can ask me more questions later. So all illnesses are healed, and all manifestations are there when you're in your pristine soul. Okay, when you are literally, you can do whatever and have whatever you want, like Abraham Hicks talks about. So I'm going to go back to that triangle quickly, where you've got source, and underneath you've got twin flames at the top, and then all your soul family. And basically, they're underneath source, though, after twin, I think before twin flames, they are infinite dimensions from source, okay? And they have, from those dimensions of source, they are fractals, and they are a step down in density. So yes, other beings and aliens do exist, because it's all infinite. And Bufo takes you to right at the top source. It doesn't take you to the middle dimensions. You do ayahuasca to go through the middle dimensions to see aliens and angelic beings, but Bufo, or gods and goddesses, but Bufo takes you right to the soup, that cosmic soup, the source, where there's no self. And it's scary to lose yourself in that, where you have no importance. But it's very important to do it too, because with your twin flame, you have to really surrender yourself, okay? Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the layers of the dimensions. So if you can see this diagram here. So you have source, and from source you have the fractals, and from fractals you have different paths. And then from the paths you have the souls, okay? So basically the way it works is, it works with the law of attraction though. But certain paths, which are your, which is like your mindset of how you want to do things, attracts various souls together to create the soul family. So the twin flames, actually from the twin flame soul, many soul family members are created. But you all have the similar way of thinking. So, you have light workers, or you have people who follow Abraham Hicks, or whatever. You have those people who believe in positivity, or a certain mission, you could say. So they all galvanize and accumulate together. But then you also have sort of like malevolent, so bad intended beings who care about war and destruction, and then they galvanize with people who are following that path. So the twin flames are on a specific path with their soul family to heal the chaos and the distortions and the karmic residue that is on the soul, which is preventing the white light to flow through, which is not needed, which is keeping souls stuck in the prison of earth, in trauma, in pain, in suffering, and keeping souls stuck in purgatory or the astral realm in confusion and agony. Okay? A lot of information, a lot of deep information. Okay, so the soul family have the same mission and path, and not all paths are benevolent. So I mentioned this before, I think, but when we talk about extra dimensionals, which is going to be happening soon, I'm doing Akashic Records, I think, after this section of Ascension. But you will get to the place where I've recorded about ETs and aliens and whatever else. But the Orion Walls. So there's an Orion star system, and I think it's Orion. Is it a galaxy? Can't remember. Anyway, Orion is there, and there was an Orion Wars. And in the Orion Wars, the Draconians, or the Reptilians, wanted to just destroy all other paths, so they understood the one path to source. They wanted to get to that one path, so everyone had the same intended way of doing things, which was about conquering and taking over, so that they could basically control the universe. And then the last thing that I got is you don't need your twin flame to do your purpose. Yes, you want them, but you can do it alone. You can do it alone. And let me see what the time is. It's almost 9 o'clock, so I have to get going. But basically, that was an epic story. An explanation of the soul, karma, twin flames, your DM, how to behave with them, what to do. The medicine has said to me, I'm there now, which is great. Watch this live a few times, I think, because there's a lot of information. And I think in the weeks to come, when we do lives, I'll probably have to